Need an easy way to accept file uploads and other information? Design forms using CognitoForms.com. You can create in-depth forms featuring conditional if-then controls and even accept secure payments. It's great for tracking entries, accepting media, and organizing information. There is even a free version available. Here's how to make one. Just to show you how easy it is, go to New Form, make a new form. You can give it a title, add a description if you want. And then if you click on this area where the plus icon is, you get all of the available input fields. So you could add a text box if you want by dragging and dropping that in. You can make it multiple lines. You could make it a password entry, data encryption, which is an upcharge. And then you could do placeholder text, which in this case is always a little bit of a hint. So for instance, if it accepts multiple lines, you could say, if there's a minimum number of characters, say it's 150, your placeholder could be type 150 characters minimum. And I could give this a name. I could say this field is question 1, for instance, if you wanted to let them answer. And then you can see how that works. And you could grow this and make it wider, or you could shrink it and then put something else next to it, such as a choice. And you can automatically turn on a first choice, have 2 choices. You can delete the third one if you're not using it and have it default to start with the second choice. You can collect payments if you have a payment option set up in the system. So anything with a credit card will accept a payment. So if you look at all the available input fields, all of these options can deal with currency if you want and payments. So there's a lot of options here, and you can see how easy it is to do that. So for instance, let's just say we'll do a choice, and we're going to make it radio buttons, and we'll call it choice 1. And one of the things you can do is you can always choose to show it. You can have it only appear when, for instance, question 1 is filled out, or if we wanted to use that other choice, you could make it is, and you could put second choice. So that way it automatically shows unless they choose something else. And if you want to preview it, this would be what it looks like. And this should go away now because we made a conditional option there if I choose first choice. See, up now that goes away. So you know your form's working properly. There's a lot of complexity you can add to this relatively easily by just clicking and dragging and making your choices here. There's really no hard programming to do. So if I go back and I say, all right, what's my layout look like? I can change my layout. I can make a section. And then within that section, I could have a whole, name field. I could do address, like all that stuff. And this section, you could maybe make an if then. So for instance, this section, if I click on this section and I say, only show it when choice 1 is filled out, or I could even say is and make it a very specific thing, such as the third choice option, then they'll get this option to show this. And the other thing I could do is I could always make something a requirement. So require that field always. And now you got the asterisk there. Or you could always say when, based on, again, conditional. So there's a lot of options you can do when you're designing. We talked about the ability to upload content. Sure, you can do that. You could do a file upload. You can limit the types of files and just put the extensions there that it accepts. The file size, number of files that can be accepted. So you can get very specific with this. It's a great tool. You've got overall settings. And then you've got workflow, such as what happens when they submit it. You got your action button name. You can change the name of that. You can change where it goes to, things like that. So you can have it go from the person's name, so it looks like it's coming from that person's name, going to your domain, your email address here. You can give it a title if you want to filter your email that way, create a rule in your email service for it. And you can have a link to view the full entry, or you could include all of the entry details. You could have it even attach all of the documents and the uploaded files. That's a pro feature, an upcharge for that. And the other thing you could have it do is you could have it send the person a copy. So you could say, thank you for filling out the form, include entry details, and you could do an email address. So if I wanted to come down here and say email address, I could make this, and let's just say if I want to move this out, so if I click on email, let's cut this, and we're going to come down here, and we're going to paste it right there. Now we're going to make it require that always, so that when we go into our workflow at the end, you can literally require that for the submission, it sends an email. So you'll get a message when they hit submit that says, thank you for filling out the form. Your response has been recorded. And you can change whatever that text is, stylize it however you want accordingly. But you could also then show their entry details as a confirmation, and you could send an email. So here you can see we've got it from the form they filled out at the website, the domain name. It's going to go to whatever email address they inserted in that input field called email. And it's going to create a title here, section name. And it's going to give them their entry details. Boom. And then you can save that workflow. And this is a little bit about how Cognito Forms works. And then when you're done, you can actually hit save. And if you go to publish, you can see what that looks like. You get a script that you can put seamlessly on your website, or you can put it in an iframe. You can share a direct link to it. You can change the theme and create a theme for your organization so it has a specific look. You can give it header styles with images, background colors, align things. You can give the form very specific styles color-wise, change the width of the form, page styles. So there's a lot of customization, a lot of options you can select from here. And it's all relatively drag and drop. Make some changes to sliders and buttons, and there's no hard coding to really have to do other than if you want to embed it on your website. So that's why this is such an easy, great option. A lot of you are probably familiar with other options such as Microsoft or Google, but this makes it relatively easy and gives you the same functionality and a little bit more even, since it's so integrated with things like payment methods and the ability to easily collect data points. It's HIPAA compliant. So there's a lot of additional functionality that you get with this that makes it very, very easy. And then to view your entries on the back end, you can see all of the entries all of the data. You can export all of this. So that makes it very nice too. You can download your documents. And so that makes it very, very easy to work with.